Good day everyone! I am Ana Marie Brano together with Ms. Mary Mel Fernandez, and today I'm going to continue the discussion about the Republic Act 7610, or the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. Nakasaad sa Section 20, Discrimination. Children of indigenous cultural communities shall not be subjected to any and all forms of discrimination. And any person who discriminate against children of indigenous cultural communities shall suffer a penalty of arresto mayor in its maximum period and a fine of not less than 5,000 pesos and more than 10,000 pesos. Article 10, Children in Situation of Armed Conflict. Nakasaad sa Section 22 o ang children as zone of peace. Children are hereby declared as zone of peace, and it shall be the responsibility of the states and all other sector concerned to resolve armed conflict in order to promote the goal of children as zone of peace. To attain this objective, the following policies shall be observed. First, children shall not be the object of attack and shall be entitled to special respect. They shall be protected from any form of threat, assault, torture, or other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment. Second, children shall not be recruited to become members of the armed forces of the Philippines with civilian units or other armed groups, nor be allowed to take part in the fighting or use as guides, couriers, or spies. Delivery of basic social services such as education, primary health, and emergency relief services shall be kept unhampered. Fourth, the safety and protection of those who provide services, including those involved in fact-finding mission from both government and non-government institutions, shall be ensured. They shall not be subjected to undue harassment in the performance of their work. And the public infrastructure such as schools, hospitals, and rural health units shall not be utilized for military purposes, such as command posts, barracks, detachments, and supply depots. And all appropriate steps shall be taken to facilitate the reunion of families temporarily separated due to armed conflict. Section 23, Evacuation of Children During Armed Conflict. In this section, children shall be given priority during evacuation as a result of armed conflict. Existing community organizations shall be tapped to look after the safety and well-being of children during evacuation operations. And also, measures shall be taken to ensure that children evacuated are accompanied by persons responsible for their safety and well-being. Section 24, Family Life and Temporary Shelter. Whenever possible, members of the same family shall be housed in the same premises and given separate accommodation from other evacuees, and provided with facilities to lead a normal family life. In places of temporary shelter, expectant and nursing mother and children shall be given additional food in proportion to their physiological needs whenever feasible. Children shall be given opportunities for physical exercises, sports, and outdoor games. Section 25, Rights of Children Arrested for Reason Related to Armed Conflict. Any child who has been arrested for reasons related to armed conflict, either as combatant, courier, guide, or spy, is entitled to the following rights: where separate detention from adults except where families are accommodated as family units, and immediate free legal assistance, and immediate notice of such arrest to the parents or guardians of the child, and release of the child on recognizance within 24 hours to the custody of the Department of Social Welfare and Development or any responsible member of the community as determined by the court. And then after hearing the evidence in the proper proceedings, the court should find that the forced child committed the acts charged against him. The court shall determine the impossible penalty, including any civil liability chargeable against him. However, instead of pronouncing judgment of conviction, the court shall suspend all further proceedings and shall commit such child to the custody or care of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or to any training institution operated by the government, or duly licensed agencies, or any other responsible person until he has had reached 18 years of age, or for a shorter period as the court may deem proper, after considering the reports and recommendation of the Department of Social Welfare and Development or the agency or responsible individual under whose care he has been committed. Section 26. Monitoring and reporting of children in situation of armed conflict. The chairman of the barangay affected by the armed conflict shall submit the names of children residing in said barangay to the municipal social welfare and development officer within 24 hours from the occurrence of the armed conflict. Article 11. Remedial procedures. Nakasaad sa Section 27, who may file a complaint. Complaints in cases of unlawful acts committed against the children as enumerated herein may be filed by the following: offended party, parents or guardians, ascendant or collateral relative within the third degree of consanguinity, officer, social worker or representative of a licensed child caring institution, officer or social worker of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, barangay chairman, or at least 3 concerned responsible citizens where the violation occurred. Section 28. Protective custody of the child. The offended party shall be immediately placed under the protective custody of the Department of Social Welfare and Development pursuant to the Executive Order No. 56 Series of 1986 in the regular performance of this function. And the officer of the Department of Social Welfare and Development shall be free from any administrative, civil, or criminal liability. Custody proceedings shall be in accordance with the provision of Presidential Decree No. 603. Section 29. Confidentiality. At the instance of the offended party, his name may be withheld from the public until the court acquires jurisdiction over the case, and it shall be unlawful for any editor, publisher, and reporter or columnist in case of printed materials, announcer or producer in case of television and radio broadcasting, producer and director of the film in case of movie industry, to cause undue and sensationalized publicity of any case of violation of this act which result in the moral degradation and suffering of an offended party.